Hello, and welcome to a new series on the channel. We are in, as you can see from the items that are behind us here, we are in a modded Minecraft world, and we're going to play the HermitPack for a while. We've got a couple of other people on the server with us that are also from the Wells Night Patreon server. I've got a few little things started here. The basics of a smeltery starting to go in here, but I need to collect some more resources and so forth before I go too far off. I wanted to give a little introduction and then record some of that initial building. I'm not going to spend a lot of time watching me go down and do the mining, but I definitely do want to walk through some of the basic mods here, and Tinker is going to be one of them. I sort of got the initial base laid out, bottom here for our Tinker smelter laid out. And I'll walk through the creation of all these additional tools here, just so you know what's going on. But this is just the introduction. I wanted to welcome you to this series, and hopefully we're going to have some fun with it. So let me get to some mining, and I will come back with you here after a bit. All right, and welcome back. So, you ever have one of those days where you forget to hit the record button? Well, I just did. So I went through some of the basics here on setting up our Tinker Smeltery, and I forgot to hit the record button. So I'm just going to continue on here for a little bit. One of the things I do plan on doing is trying to set up a mod spotlight or a mod tutorial on the Tinker stuff, just to get everybody current with it, make sure that they've all had an opportunity to sort of see how the setup works. So hopefully here in the next few days I'll try to get something put together for that. But I do have the basic Tinker Smeltery setting up. I've got our some iron in it right now, going along. I do have our full bucket here, and I also decided to make a Ender IO tank, which will be helpful. Holds 16 buckets of lava, so should be pretty good there. I'm going to set up a redstone clock here in a little bit to handle our inputs and so forth here on our block and our faucet here, because I'm just going to dump all this in here and go back and continue mining. So hopefully this still works. This is something I did in 1.7 where I put a hopper underneath the basin, so as soon as it's full, yeah, it does great. It does just pull it right back down. I did the same thing for the casts, so that if I'm making ingots, I can definitely do that. So need to make myself another hopper here. I've got just what I need. Yep, super vanilla, but it works. And we're going to make up some gold right here. And I think this will still work. Yeah, it does great. So I can just dump in the items here. It'll automatically smelt them as soon as it's cooled off. So what I have to do now is I need to go find me some redstone. So I'm going to go down into my mines and see what I can find for redstone. Oh, bummer, I can't quite. I could use this iron pickaxe. I definitely want to start getting some improved materials going. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to head down and I'm going to get some items smelting and get some items going here. And going to just double up some resources and get those processing. So let me, when I get to the next spot where I'm going to do some of the casts and building some of the higher end tools, I will definitely be coming back here, and I will walk you guys through the process. Hopefully I hit record this time. So I will catch you here after the cut. Alright, and welcome back. So I've been plowing through
making some blocks here. And I went down below and mined for a little bit, and wouldn't you know it that right away I ended up finding myself some redstone. So what I'm going to do is going to make ourselves a redstone clock. So we need some basics here. And what we're going to make is we're going to make this clock right here from extra utilities. So you kind of come in here to, I think we're using JEI, which is just enough inventory. And what you can do is you click this, you have everything in your inventory that you need. That's why I needed to make the torch ahead of time. And you click this move items, and it'll immediately move them into this casting grid and pre-fill the crafting tables for you. So it will make things much easier. So for us here. So what we're going to do is we are going to, I think I can do that. We're going to put this block right here. That there and that right there. Let's see if this works. So we also need ourselves a lever, I think. We'll see if this works. And my goal is to... no, it doesn't look like it is. Bummer. Alright, so the goal is this sends out a redstone signal. And what I want to do is automate the running of these faucets. And I think I'm going to have to make a second one then. So it's constantly sending out a redstone signal. And it will keep doing that until the block is filled up. And this is filled up. It's still sending a signal to this faucet, but it is allowing this to finish filling. And I'm going to have to hop off here real quick. And then it starts up on the next one. So you can see the server restart here in just a little bit. So let me disconnect and we'll get back to where we're at. So I will see you here in a bit. Alright, and welcome back. So right now we're going to start making some casts, and I went chasing around collecting all this gold, and I didn't do a very good job of reading the changes on this. So as you can see here, I got it pulled up on this side over here, is you've got these casting plates that we may need to make, and I've been so used to making them out of gold that I didn't notice that you can make them out of clay. Now I've never made them out of clay before, have no idea if how well this is going to work, but we're going to see how well this works. So the first one we're going to make is an ingot. So not sure why I did that. I want to put that there, and we're going to seared brick ingot. Because sometimes it actually pulls the you lose whatever's in the form. I don't want to lose an iron ingot. That would be bad. So we have molten clay in here. We got 5 blocks of it, and we're gonna make a cast of it. Oh, come on. Well, let's see what we got here. Won't let me do that one, but we do have... Alright, let's make a pick head and get ourselves... Let's see about making a pick cast. So we put it in our casting basin right there. So it won't let you do a clay ingot. And it should pull this right out. Alright. So we put this in here. We change our material down to iron. And cast away. Alright. Okay, so The disadvantage of using clay is that you only get one cast out of it. Alright, so that's good to know. Well, let's go and recast this into here. And make another block of that. That'll turn into hardened clay, I'm pretty sure. So, let's get our gold on the bottom here. Yeah, it turned into hardened clay, and I've got a little bit of hardened clay around here. Alright, so let's put our seared brick in there, and let's get our ingot cast made. This is kind of important. It's not as good as the block, but every now and then, like for example, right here, if you look at this, I've got 4 ingots of molten gold left in there. I actually need it for the casting, but let's say we get the iron. You see, I've got 9 blocks and 7 ingots. I don't want to waste those 7 ingots, so I'll cast those into the ingots here and get them pulled into this as well. So what I'm going to do here is I need to set up another chest. Let's get a little bit of wood. Let's make this out of spruce. And we need a chest for our pieces down over here. And I'll just stick those into there for now. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to build ourselves a little bit more stable pickaxe. And in order to make a pickaxe, I got to get used to this being able to bounce around here. In order to make a pickaxe, we need the pickaxe head, the binding, and the rod. And I've got tons of iron, so I'm going to actually make those out of iron. So what we're going to do here, I'm going to make the stone cast, and then the tool rod. And yeah, I know that these aren't necessarily the best materials to start them out with iron, but we're going to get our basics in here. So let's make sure we got a gold at the bottom. And this should only take 2 ingots, I believe. So it leaves us 2 more left. Yep. And that goes away. And put it in our chest there. And then get our binding in there and turn on that faucet. Alright. So let's get our iron back on here. And we're going to make an iron tool binding. Rod. This is not necessarily the best way to do it, but this is what we're going to start with for now. And put these in here. Alright, so this gives us our 3 pieces right there, and I'm going to set this back on. So turn this clock back on, and it will continue to process our iron over there. So let's build ourselves an iron pick. And boom. Alright, so we get to retire our stone one, which is pretty good, but that also means that we need to carry. The only disadvantages with the stone one, or the disadvantage here, is that we have to use iron in order to repair it. So we'll have to carry a couple blocks with us. Not a big deal, shouldn't be a problem at all. Definitely going to be when we're going to be doing some mining. But we're really actually going to go to hammers here on the next thing we're going to be mining. So what I'm going to do is I am going to continue with this, putting together some basics tools and some casting things, getting some items smelted up, and I am going to come back with you here in a bit, and we are probably going to start building ourselves a little house over here on this little ridge. But I want to get some tools in place so I can get some space cleared. So I'll be back with you here in a bit. Alright, and welcome back. So we are going to start the next little chunk of work that we're going to do here, and I'm going to start off by crafting up, and I don't think I have it in my inventory. Where did I put those bricks? We're going to start up crafting a tool station. So many chests. Where did I put them? There they are. So we've got a bunch of gold, and we're going to craft ourselves up a tool station. So the first thing that we need to do is put our tool station in here, and make ourselves a tool forge. And this is for creating bigger items, and I probably should have put that over there with the rest of them over here. So let's make a spot for it. Well, actually, we're going to have to craft a second one to carry with us, so we're going to stick that one right there. And what we're going to do is we are going to make ourselves a hammer, and it takes two large plates, the hammerhead and the larger tool rod. And I've already got those plates and those casts all crafted up. And I know what I'm going to make it out of. I'm going to make the hammerhead. Let's do that first. We're going to make that out of iron. And boom. So let's cast our hammerhead there. And the next thing that we're going to do is once we get this hammerhead cast, and it does take up quite a bit more. These are bigger tools. They take up more material, which is a good thing. But again, they take up more items, and can be a bit of a pain. So that jumped into our chest right here, and that is good to go. And we're going to have to craft 2 plates. So what I often do on my hammer, and I'm trying to make a sort of an end level hammer, is I use obsidian. So I think I have enough there. I hope I've got enough there. I think it takes 3. Oh, it takes 2 blocks for the 1 plate, which is good. Yeah, cool. There we go. So we've got an obsidian plate, and that's going to add in some durability. Now this one only allows us to mine at the diamond level, which is fine, which means we can get diamonds and obsidian and so forth. But the advantage is that we'll put a sharpener on it to sharpen it up to cobalt level, and then from there we will we'll be able to harvest the cobalt. So I think I've got the rest of it in here. Show you a cool little thing there. I don't have a tool that will pick up obsidian yet, which is annoying but understandable. But there is a cool little thing in here. I was like, well, I wonder if you can craft obsidian. So what you do is you take 2 buckets of lava and 2 water bottles, and you get a block of obsidian. And you get your buckets back too, which is great. So that is really convenient. That will let me craft up quite a bit there. So I didn't think I built a cast for our big tool rod, did I? Tough tool rod. I don't think I have one yet. This is just a basic tool rod. Bummer. Alright, so let's nope, I didn't. Oh. stencil for it. Tough tool rod. There we go. Alright, so gotta get used to how these all work together. So, and I don't think I have any gold in here. Of course I don't. So get those loaded in there. And I've already gone through and smelted most of my basic materials. Now, I have a couple things in here like osmium and tin. I don't even know what this one is. This is a new one for me. I'll have to figure out what that one does. Yellowite, some aluminum. And I don't want to, and some tin. I don't want to put these in the smeltery just yet because those are going to create alloys. And I'm not 100% sure on what those alloys are going to be. So I think I have 2 things of obsidian. And we'll get our second hammer in here. And I'm going to have to make a stencil for a... Nope, not a sign. There we go. Sharpening tool. Let's put that in there. That there. Nice. Alright. So that goes there. Uh-oh. Did I not have enough obsidian? So what I've got here is a bit of a problem. I've got a partial thing of obsidian, it looks like. So it looks like it takes up more. And let's just fill that back up. And I got one more glass bottle, so I can make another block of obsidian. And working with tinkerers can be really, really grindy at the beginning because you're constantly going back and doing a handful of different things. And I don't want to break this with the partial, or otherwise I lose all the obsidian I have in there, and that would be bad. And I just threw those on the ground, and we'll get that melting up. Alright, sweet. What I need to do is, I've only got 4 buckets of lava in there. And what have I got in here? 2 buckets of lava, so I'm almost emptying out of lava. Now I've been making up some obsidians so I can get this going here. So we gotta let that smelting here. So definitely want to know what you guys think about this modded series, whether or not we want to continue it or not. It's one of those things that I like playing modded. I like playing vanilla as well. It's a good breakup between the two to keep the 2 of them going. Different things, but it's not necessarily the beginning of it can be kind of grindy, and we can talk about the different mods as we go through it. The nice thing about modded is that you have so many additional blocks to build with. I mean, if we just even look at chisel and start looking at all the different blocks you can do once you get the chisel put in there. This is just all the different cracked bricks and so forth. So definitely have a lot of fun doing that. The only thing that's missing in this mod pack that really makes building fun is carpenter blocks. I hope that they try to go back through and add it in. I think that would be really, really interesting, really a neat thing to do, because with the carpenter blocks you can add in slopes, and you can basically make stairs and slabs of any block in the game, which is really kind of nice. Definitely one of those things that I definitely would love to see them add in as the mod, as the pack becomes a little more stable, and that particular mod gets added in to the 1.10. And that was one of the things that they did. The Hermits did when they were developing this mod pack was aimed for the 1.10 mods. So that's why we're doing this. All right, so we got our obsidian back in here. Make sure double check that. Make sure that's on the bottom there. Yep, and put that back into here. Yeah, so what it does is it doesn't quite take up 2 blocks, but it's real close. Um, so, or 3 blocks. So that's one of the disadvantages of the using the plates. But it adds a lot of durability to it. So I definitely want to get this hammer done here for you. All right, so that's out. Let's get this in here and get a cast of this tough rod in here, and put you here. And oops, and we're gonna make that out of iron. So we're not looking for a lot of modifiers. What I will do is I'm going to come back and I'm going to make probably a higher end pick at some point in time. And what we're going to use is we're going to use some paper as our central binding on it. So I've got our 4 pieces right here. And the paper allows us to add modifiers so that we can add more haste and that kind of thing. So, all right, so we're ready to build our hammer. Boom. Clumsy level with it. You can see we've got pretty good. We got diamond level mining on it. Not a great mining speed, but enough to do some damage. So everything gets moved down, and we're gonna go break some blocks. So the one thing I love about the hammer, and you can see it up here, is that it makes for mining a lot easier. So it doesn't work on. It only does a single block of dirt, anything that you'd use a shovel for. So if I hit this right here, I'm only doing the one thing. But for stone or anything that you would normally use a pick on, it allows a 3x3. And the nice thing about using the iron head on here is you can see it kind of has a magnet pull to them, so it pulls most of them towards me, which is kind of nice. So that I can keep moving along pretty easily. A little bit of lag there. But this is what we're going to do is I'm going to go and I am going to use this hammer. I'm probably going to pick up I'm going to swap these here. I got I always keep my pick on number 2, so I'm very quick to jump to that one, and my sword on number 1, just in case I run into some problems. And then normally I'll scroll to my other ones. Gonna continue moving on here with this one. So what I'm going to do is I am going to go down and mine for the materials. I know what I want to build this house with, and we'll get the foundation laid out for the house here in a bit. Probably in a bit later. I need to check the time on the video where we're at. I don't want to run too long on this one, and see what time I've got left. So let me go take care of that, and I will be back with you here in a bit. Alright, welcome back. So check the time on this video, and we're going to be running a little bit long, so we're not going to get to building our starter house here today. But I did want to do one last thing here, and we are going to, I think it's here that we need to do it, and we need to add on our obsidian sharpening item, upgrade our hammer, and that will basically let us mine anything that we want. Should be pretty good. So that is going to be all that I got time for today. I'd love to know your feedback. I'm going to definitely do a couple of episodes. I'm not going to let this this series affect my vanilla series on the Wells Night Patreon server. But I'd love to hear your feedback. You can leave a comment. You can always find me on Twitter at @AWanderingNerd. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like. And if you want to see more, definitely subscribe. So, until next time, this is a Wandering Nerd.